Welcome to this WILDLIFEx. In this video we are going to talk about top 10 mythical creatures. So before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to WILDLIFEx for future updates. With their strange physiology and lethal power, mythological creatures have captivated and horrified people since the dawn of time. This is why their stories have been passed down through the generations. The following are our favorite legendary beasts, ranked according to their abilities, origin stories, and overall badassery. Bigfoot. We'd know for sure if we could find one, but Bigfoot is regarded to be the missing link between humans and apes. Bigfoot's legend is based on Native American mythology and folklore associated with European wild man tales. There are those who have dedicated their lives to discovering Bigfoot, and there are even images, such as this one, that provide evidence of his existence. Bigfoot has his own FBI file, but despite numerous accusations from various sources across the United States, no one has been able to definitively verify that the Great Sasquatch exists. Medusa. Medusa is one of the most legendary figures in Greek mythology. She had the ability to petrify a person with a single gaze, physically turning them to stone. Medusa was captivated by Poseidon in an Athena temple, a sacrilegious deed that incensed the Greek goddess of war so much, that she transformed the mortal Medusa into an ugly beast with snakes for hair, according to a Roman version of the myth. Medusa was one of three Gorgon sisters who also happened to be the sole mortal of the trio, according to Hesiod's theogony. Medusa and her sisters were born with snakes for hair, and the capacity to turn anybody who looked at him to stone, according to Hesiod's retelling of the myth, which differs from the Roman tale. The hero Perseus, however, slays Medusa by chopping off her head in the majority of stories. Medusa's visage had the potential to turn men to stone even after she was beheaded, so, Perseus carried it in a kybisis, a magical sack strong enough to retain its power. Kraken. The Kraken is one of the most terrifying monsters ever envisioned. In 1180, Swedish King Sverre of Norway made one of the first mentions to the massive cephalopod. Some speculated that the beast was so large that it could devour entire marine crews and sink ships in an instant. Despite the fact that accounts of the Kraken in mythology differ to some extent, the prevailing consensus is that the Kraken was most likely Architeuthis dux, or the enormous squid. The Kraken is near the top of our list because it's one of the most terrifying creatures on the planet, and it's based on a real animal. Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness Monster, the Loch Ness Monster. For thousands of years, mankind has been hunting this legendary beast. The Loch Ness Monster is said to be a plesiosaur that has survived in the Loch Ness Lake in Scotland. Although Nessie has no abilities that we know of, and there is no clear evidence she exists, she is here, because of the amazement and fascination she has maintained, real or not, since the earliest legends about her existence in the Loch Way first emerged, in the biography of Christian Irish missionary Saint Columba in 565 AD. The Abominable Snowman. You may be familiar with the Abominable Snowman by another name, such as Yeti. But, whatever you call it, the stories are always the same. There is a bipedal, humanoid creature somewhere in the mountains that leaves gigantic traces, but it has never been seen or captured on film. A Yeti scalp believed to be almost 300 years old was discovered in a small Nepalese village. However, an examination revealed that the scalp was actually made of animal skin, yet the villagers still regard it as a valuable item. The Yeti legend has survived, thanks in part to the sensationalism surrounding the creature's existence, but also to locals who continue to tell stories about the beast. Vampires. The world's most famous vampire is undoubtedly Bram Stoker's Dracula, who Stoker reportedly modeled after Romanian Prince Vlad Tepes, more popularly known as Vlad the Impaler, pictured. According to Live Science, though most people can name a few vampiric features, there are no fixed limitations for what a vampire may and cannot accomplish because there are no solidly recognized features. The vampires we're familiar with now tend to be glamorous. They're wealthy and attractive, but they still need to drink blood to survive. Zombies. Zombies have terrified us since they first appeared on screen in classic films, like Night of the Living Dead. These creatures, on the other hand, have terrorized Haitian culture for far longer than a few decades worth of films and television shows. The ancient Greeks appeared to be afraid of a resurrection of the dead, so they buried people with stones on top of their bodies, to keep the dead from rising from their graves. Slaves on sugarcane plantations worked in dreadful conditions in the 17th century, and necromancy, an undead afterlife, represented the horrific plight of slavery, according to history. There are also bokors, or practitioners, in the voodoo religion who have the ability to resurrect the dead. Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil is said to have been haunting New Jersey's Pine Barrens since 1735. As you can see in the illustration, this monster has a strange look, with a horse-like head with some kind of horned protrusions, and walks on its two hind legs, which finish in cloven hooves. According to certain versions of the Jersey Devil legend, the creature was born to one of Daniel Leeds's witch wives. The beast sprouted wings shortly after birth, let out a screeching yell, and flew off into the night. Sirens. Another mythological creature that has found a home in modern times is the siren. There are movies and TV series about seductresses who lure sailors to their deaths, with their lovely and enchanting singing voices. Sirens are also mentioned in Homer's Odyssey, when Odysseus famously tied himself to the ship's mast in order to hear the siren call. Odysseus was wary, so he had his men put wax in their ears to block off the sound. And it was successful. Werewolf. It's difficult to identify exactly where the werewolf myth originated, because it's found in so many cultures. Werewolf stories have been told millions of times, with each version giving the monsters a new strength, a new reason to transform from human to beast, and numerous ways for humans to kill him, though a silver bullet seems to be the most common approach. The story of the king of Arcadia, Lycaon, who tried to offer a sacrificial kid for Zeus to eat, first introduced werewolves into Greek mythology. According to legend, Zeus was so enraged by Lycaon's shabby gift, that he transformed the king and all of his sons into werewolves. Fenrir, a Norse god who, while not a werewolf, is the gnarliest wolf ever, merits an honorable mention for being the gnarliest wolf ever. Fenrir, the son of Loki and Angerboda, is said to have brought about Ragnarok and devoured Odin in Norse mythology. What do you think about this video? Which of the following top 10 mythical creatures you find most shocking? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.